Hey people, we are back with Indulgences once again. This one is going to be a sort of a recap video for Hazel's main events and the new ones, so I will be skipping most content on her this time from the early stages. If you are interested in those, you can watch the first 2-hour video. Now then, I will try to get the 3 multi-character events that involve Hazel today, so see you there. If you want to skip around and check the new stuff, take a look at the timestamps and jump around. You step into the dorm's kitchen and are immediately hit with a wave of rich, buttery heat. The air is thick with the scent of garlic, cheese, and something baking just shy of sinful. Near the stove, a girl with flour-dusted cheeks stirs a bubbling pot like she's summoning a storm of dairy and carbs.
Hello, are you the new roomie? Perfect timing, I made enough food for like 6 people, again.
She spins dramatically with a ladle in one hand and nearly drops it, laughing at herself before catching it midair. Before you can say anything, another presence glides into view like silk. A tall girl leans against the counter, cradling a steaming mug, her long lashes lowered and a calm, fond smile on her lips.
Ara Hazel, you're going to scare her away with all that energy.
Her voice is smooth and warm, with a teasing lilt that dances around each word. She sips her drink slowly, the steam curling around her soft, parted lips.
Please, if food scares her off, she's in the wrong dorm.
Hazel leans over the pot dramatically and inhales with closed eyes, clearly in love with her own creation.
Wanna try some? It's my 5-cheese garlic cream pasta with extra butter and a dash of chaos. Sure, let's see what I'm getting myself into.
Hazel lights up, scooping a generous spoonful and holding it out proudly. But before she can offer it to you, Ashley smoothly takes the spoon from her hand.
You'll burn her tongue, sweetie. Let it cool a second.
Moo Ashley, you're such a mom.
Someone has to be.
Ashley gently blows on the spoon, then raises it, not to you but to Hazel. Hazel blinks in surprise, then grins sheepishly as she leans in.
You're not gonna, MMMPH.
Ashley slips the spoon past her lips with practiced care, her fingers brushing Hazel's cheek as she does.
There we go, better.
Hazel's eyes flutter slightly as she chews, clearly enjoying the moment more than she meant to let on.
Okay, yeah, that's hot, and also the pasta's perfect.
Of course it is.
Their banter is warm, familiar, like something from a cozy late-night sitcom. Hazel twirls back toward the stove, apron fluttering with her movements, while Ashley sets down her mug and lazily stretches.
You two seem close. We've been roommates forever. I'm Hazel, dorm chef, chronic overfeeder, professional taste tester.
Ashley, I keep her alive and make sure the kitchen doesn't catch fire.
And spoil me rotten in the process.
Only a little.
Ashley reaches over to tug Hazel's messy bangs back into place, her touch featherlight, her smile indulgent.
If you're lucky, she might spoil you too, but you've gotta earn it. They're like opposites that orbit each other perfectly. Hazel's chaotic joy and Ashley's gentle gravity.
Hazel settles herself down onto the oversized towel with a soft puff of air, her round belly pressing against the elastic of her tankini top. Her thighs spread generously as she lowers herself, hips swaying with her weight. The towel dips beneath her, and her arms relax out at her sides as she leans back.
Okay, this is exactly what I needed. Sand, sun, and shell hunting.
She shifts a bit, her legs folded to the side. The top of her belly softens as she slouches slightly, and her cleavage pulls gently forward with her posture. Her body molds deeply into the sand beneath her. Her breasts splay wide as she lays flat, pushing to either side with the weight of them, leaving a noticeable imprint where they settle.
Ooh, there's a crab by your foot. No sudden moves or you're gonna get pinched.
You both laugh, and she eventually props herself up on one elbow, face flushed from the heat, and a lazy smile tugging at her lips. When she finally stands up, you notice clear, rounded impressions in the sand where her bust had been resting, perfectly molded dips that linger as she dusts herself off.
Phew, that was comfy.
You walk into W.C. Donald's expecting a quick snack, but you're greeted by a rather surprising sight. Hazel standing behind the counter, looking flustered, with over 30 trays of fries piled up around her.
Hazel, what's going on? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. There was a mix-up with the orders, and now we've got all these fries. I can't let them go to waste.
Her eyes dart between the trays and you, a hint of mischief in her voice. There's no denying the playful grin on her lips as she rests a hand on her belly, which is still flat for now.
I've already had a few trays, but I need some help with the rest. What do you say? Think you can keep up?
Her invitation is laced with challenge, But there's something else behind it, a tantalizing opportunity to watch her overindulge, her belly expanding with every bite.
Oh, I'll help, but I think you should handle the bulk of it.
You sit back, crossing your arms as you watch Hazel go to town on the fries. She starts out with excitement, but soon you can see her slowing down as her belly begins to visibly push against her clothes. Her midsection swells dramatically, the bulge growing larger with every bite. Her stomach is now pressing against her shirt, the soft mound of flesh tightening under the fabric. Hazel moans, placing a hand on her belly, which has become noticeably rounder.
I don't think I can keep going, but these fries are so good. Come on, Hazel, you can handle more than that, keep going.
With a deep breath, Hazel grabs one last tray and devours the fries. Her belly swells to its absolute limit, pushing so far out that it stretches her shirt to the breaking point. She groans, her body trembling as her stomach distends into a massive, round dome. Her shirt creaks under the pressure, the fabric straining to contain her overstuffed belly. Hazel winces, rubbing the sides of her taut stomach, her breathing labored.
I can't believe I ate so much. I feel like I'm going to pop, but it feels so good, so full.
Her belly juts out in front of her, heavy and swollen, pressing into the table. She shifts in her seat, clearly feeling the weight of her massive indulgence, her breaths coming in shallow pants as she tries to adjust.
I think you've definitely outdone yourself. MMHMM, but I couldn't stop. Thanks for pushing me to do it.
You can't help but stare at the round expanse of her overstuffed stomach, now fully on display, pushing against the fabric of her shirt, her body quivering with the effort of containing it all.
All right, Hazel, let's start with some light cardio.
Rebecca tries to get Hazel moving, but Hazel's increased weight makes every movement feel sluggish and labored.
Ugh, I don't know if I can do this, Rebecca. I'm so slow now.
Hazel struggles to keep up, her breath coming in short, heavy bursts. Her body feels cumbersome, and the usual ease with which she moved is gone.
It's okay, Hazel, you're doing great, really, but maybe we could take a break and grab a bite to eat.
Rebecca suggests with a knowing smile, realizing that Hazel might be more motivated by a different kind of indulgence.
That actually sounds really good right now.
Hazel's face brightens at the idea, her struggle momentarily forgotten.
Then it's settled, let's go and treat ourselves. Maybe we can even stuff ourselves a bit, as a reward.
Rebecca's suggestion makes Hazel's eyes light up even more.
Yes, let's do it.
The kitchen smells amazing, warm vanilla buttery dough, something fruity sizzling in a pan. Hazel leans over the counter, tongue poking from the corner of her mouth, as she pipes frosting onto cupcakes. Her belly presses softly against the edge, rounded and full, with little folds resting on her waistband from the effort of standing. Beside her, Lucy tries to mix batter in a bowl. But her absurdly massive bust sways in front of her like two soft wrecking balls, jostling every time she shifts her stance. Her apron is tied tight under her bust, but that just makes it look more like she's wearing a frilly bib than anything functional.
I think I got eggshells in this.
You think? You've been mixing with your boobs for 5 minutes.
Hazel gestures toward the bowl, where there's a visible frosting smear from Lucy accidentally leaning too far. One of her massive breasts has left a perfect arc across the batter.
I didn't mean to. I can't see what I'm doing down there anymore.
She bends slightly to try and look into the bowl, which only causes her cleavage to deepen dramatically, and knock the measuring cup to the floor with a soft plop.
Oh no!
Hazel chuckles, placing another cupcake on the rack. Her plush belly wobbles slightly as she shifts her weight, the extra softness she's gained making her apron ride up over her lower belly.
I used to think I was clumsy. But compared to you, I'm a kitchen ninja.
Lucy frowns, trying to pick up the cup without bending too far forward. She braces her arms under her bust to lift them slightly, just enough to see the floor.
Do we have tongs?
Hazel snorts, holding back laughter. Her belly jiggles from the motion, resting heavily on her thighs now that she's leaned slightly forward.
Girl, just use your spatula, or ask me, I'm still mobile.
She waddles over, grinning as she helps Lucy straighten up. Their bodies bump softly in the tight space, Hazel's rounded belly brushing against Lucy's narrow waist, while Lucy's enormous chest grazes Hazel's shoulder with a warm, doughy squish.
We really are the worst kitchen team.
Speak for yourself. I've only spilled 3 things.
Lucy giggles and turns to grab sugar, knocking over a spoon with her bust again.
4.
They both crack up, the kitchen now a cozy disaster zone of flour, frosting, and giggles. Hazel's belly rumbles audibly, and she freezes.
That was not the timer.
Lucy raises a brow, then shyly pokes Hazel's belly.
You sure you're not just preheating?
Shut up, help me frost these or I'll eat them unfrosted.
They return to the counter, shoulders bumping again as they try to share the space. Hazel's belly brushes against the cabinet door, Lucy's bust spreads out on the counter like two soft shelves of distraction. Between them, the cupcakes disappear one by one, some frosted, some sampled, all made with the messiest, chubbiest kind of love. Back at the gym with Rebecca, you notice something's different.
Come on, Hazel, just one more set.
Rebecca tries to motivate Hazel, but Hazel is barely able to move. Her body feels heavy and uncooperative, each movement a Herculean effort.
I can't, Rebecca, I'm just too heavy.
Hazel collapses onto the mat, completely out of breath. Her cheeks are flushed, and she's sweating profusely, her sluggish body unable to keep up with the demands of the workout.
It's okay, Hazel, you've done your best, really. Maybe we should focus on something you're more comfortable with.
Rebecca kneels beside Hazel, her own body now noticeably bulkier, especially around her thighs and rear. She gives Hazel a sympathetic look, understanding how tough it is to stay active with so much extra weight.
Likes eating.
Hazel's voice is hopeful, and Rebecca can't help but chuckle.
Exactly, let's go out, find something delicious, and see who can eat more.
Rebecca's suggestion causes Hazel's eyes to widen in excitement, the thought of indulging in food replacing her earlier exhaustion.
You're on.
It's late at night, and Hazel is slowly waddling around the empty McDonald's, cleaning up after the last customers have left. Her movements are slow and deliberate, her growing body making every task a little more challenging than before. Her wide hips occasionally bump into tables and chairs as she navigates the aisles, each impact causing a slight jiggle through her softened frame. You watch as she approaches a table that's set against a booth, her belly leading the way. Hazel leans over the table, trying to reach the far side to wipe it down, but her belly presses against the edge, stopping her.
Ugh, come on, just a little farther.
She huffs as she tries to stretch, but her thickened waistline makes it impossible for her to reach the other side without shifting uncomfortably. You suggest she slide into the booth to get better access, though it's clear this is going to be a tight fit for her.
You might want to try sliding into the booth to reach the other side.
Hazel glances at the narrow booth and groans softly, knowing this won't be easy. She sucks in her breath, wiggling her hips as she tries to slide her widening frame into the booth. Her belly presses against the edge of the table, squishing as she struggles to make it fit. It takes some effort, but eventually Hazel manages to wedge herself into the booth, her belly now squished against the table, her hips pressing tightly against the sides.
Ugh, this is way harder than it used to be.
She sighs but finally reaches across and wipes the other side of the table. Her thighs spread across the booth, barely leaving any space as she finishes cleaning. With the cleaning finally done, Hazel leans against the counter, her belly pressing against the surface as she catches her breath. You can tell she's worn out from all the bending, squeezing, and reaching.
Phew, that was tough.
She wipes her brow, but her attention shifts to the leftover food sitting on the counter. Burgers, fries, and nuggets all untouched and perfectly good. She eyes them for a moment, clearly considering something.
It'd be such a waste to throw these out.
Her belly lets out a soft growl, and you know exactly what she's thinking. It's been a long day, and Hazel seems more than ready for a reward. You step closer, holding up a leftover burger.
Why not let me feed you? You've earned it after all that hard work.
Hazel blushes slightly but doesn't protest as you bring the burger to her lips. She takes a big bite, her eyes closing as she savors the taste. One bite quickly turns into another, and before long, Hazel has polished off the burger. Her belly presses more firmly against the counter, her stuffed stomach rounding out as you feed her fries and nuggets, each one filling her more.
I didn't think I was this hungry.
Her voice is muffled between bites, but she doesn't stop eating, her belly growing tighter with every bite you feed her. Eventually, she's leaning back, her swollen stomach clearly overstuffed. With the leftovers now gone, Hazel leans against the counter, her belly protruding noticeably beneath her uniform. She rubs her overstuffed stomach with a soft groan, clearly feeling the effects of her indulgence.
I really overdid it this time.
She lets out a soft laugh, though it's clear she's enjoying the feeling of fullness. Her belly presses heavily against the counter, her thighs spread wide as she leans back, completely stuffed.
She may have struggled to clean up, but she sure doesn't have any trouble finishing off a meal.
You smile as Hazel gives her belly a final pat, clearly proud of her efforts. The combination of her growing body and her insatiable appetite is becoming more and more obvious.
If this keeps up, she'll need more than just extra chairs next time she eats.
Lazy breeze rolls off the ocean as Hazel lowers herself onto an oversized beach towel, sighing with deep relief as her plush body settles into the warm sand. Her bikini top creaks softly, her heavy breasts pushing forward from the pressure of her gently domed belly, which peeks out like a mound of sun-soft dough above the waistband of her strained bottoms. Sherry flops down next to her with dancer's grace, even though her own lower half, two huge, cheeky masses of ass and thick thighs, spills out over the edge of her towel immediately.
Scoot over, Hazel, you're hogging the shade.
I did scoot. There's just not enough umbrella to unsun all of this.
Hazel gestures to herself, her belly softly folded into her lap, her thick hips spread wide, each thigh thick and slowly tanning, practically glowing in the sunlight. Sherry squints up at the umbrella above them. It's doing its best, but the shadow ends somewhere around Hazel's side roll and Sherry's soft, exposed hip.
This umbrella is a scam. We need one the size of a trampoline.
She tries to scoot in closer, but as she does, her massive rear presses into Hazel's hip, soft skin squishing into soft skin with a muffled squish.
Hey, watch the merch.
Hazel shifts awkwardly, her belly wobbling as she adjusts, but there's just no room. Her plump belly and Sherry's colossal hips have become instant rivals for space.
If your stomach didn't need its own zip code, we'd both be fine.
Oh please, your ass just tilted the umbrella.
They both giggle as the umbrella base gives a little twitch, slowly rotating from the shifting weight on either side. Half of Hazel's belly is now back in the sun, shimmering with sweat, while Sherry's right thigh glows golden and bare.
You comfy?
No, my butt's cooking and my left boob is melting.
Hazel lifts one heavy thigh and shifts again, but this time her belly flops gently against Sherry's thigh, squishing there like a warm pillow.
Better.
No.
But neither of them move. They lie there, stuffed into the sliver of shade, soft flesh pressing, folding, sticking slightly with the heat. Eventually, they both sigh at the same time. Hazel's belly rises and falls like a plush hill. Sherry's hips are wide enough to cast their own shadow now.
Next time, double umbrella.
Or we could just bring sunscreen and give up.
The breeze shifts again, and they both instinctively lean in a little closer, soft bellies pressing, plush thighs overlapping at the edge. There's a gentle creak as the umbrella finally gives up and tilts sideways.
Yup, giving up sounds good.
It's late at night, and the dim lights of the fast food joint illuminate Hazel as she works the drive-through window. Her shift seems quiet, but her body, now too large for the small window space, is anything but. She shifts uncomfortably, her bloated belly pressing hard against the counter. Each time she tries to hand a meal through the window, her stomach blocks her movement, making it nearly impossible to pass food to the customers.
How is she managing in there? She can barely fit into the window frame.
Hazel huffs with frustration as her swollen belly bumps against the edge of the window, knocking over bags of food. Her body completely fills the small drive-through space, leaving no room to maneuver.
Ugh, this is such a pain. Why is everything so tight?
She attempts to reach out again, but her rounded belly presses even harder against the window frame, nearly spilling through the opening. Each time she moves, her body wobbles, making the task seem almost impossible. You offer to help, stepping closer to take the food from her hands and pass it to the waiting customer.
Here, let me help. You're not exactly built for this window anymore, huh?
Hazel shoots you a grateful but embarrassed look, her face flushing red as she realizes just how big she's gotten.
Thanks. I didn't think it would be this bad, but I can't even turn around properly in here.
As you help her with the orders, her belly continues to press against the counter, each movement causing it to jiggle and knock things over. Hazel tries to adjust herself, but it's no use, the space is simply too small for her now.
She's completely filling the window. There's no way she's comfortable.
As Hazel finishes passing the last of the food, she takes a deep breath, her belly expanding even further against the counter, her whole body filling every bit of space available.
I swear, I can barely move in here anymore.
She rubs her stomach, which wobbles slightly as she leans back, trying to get some relief from the pressure. Her shirt is stretched taut over her belly, the fabric straining with every breath.
Maybe I need a bigger window next time, huh?
She tries to laugh it off, but her discomfort is clear. You can't help but notice how her body completely dominates the small drive-through area, leaving little room for anything else.
She's way too big for this job now. There's no way she'll be able to keep working here like this.
Hazel sighs, her belly jiggling with the movement as she steps back from the window, visibly exhausted from the effort it took just to pass a few meals.
Thanks for the help. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll just start running the place from the back where there's more room for this.
She gestures to her swollen belly, a look of resignation and slight embarrassment on her face. You leave the fast food joint, her struggles still fresh in your mind. It's a bright day outside W.C. Donald's, and the scent of fried food fills the air. Hazel is taking part in a promotional event, operating a food truck right in front of the fast food restaurant. The truck is small, far too small for Hazel's growing body. Her wide hips press against the walls, and her bloated belly rests heavily against the counter as she starts sampling the food meant for the customers.
I couldn't let all this go to waste, right? Someone has to make sure it's good.
Her tone is light, but there's no mistaking the greed in her eyes as she shovels fries and burgers into her mouth, each bite pushing her further into indulgence.
She's barely fitting in there. I don't think the customers are getting any of that food.
Hazel's belly is already straining against her shirt, and with each passing second her body expands even more. She tries to move around the small kitchen, but her wide hips knock into trays, and her belly presses harder against the countertop, jiggling with each movement.
Ugh, why is everything in here so tight?
She tries to turn, but her growing body is now wedged between the counter and the wall. The space is simply too cramped for her to move freely, and as she reaches for another burger, her belly pushes into the fryer, nearly knocking it over.
It's like she's outgrowing the truck, and she's still eating.
You step inside the cramped truck, squeezing in beside Hazel as you take one of the trays of fries. Hazel looks up at you, a smirk on her face as she continues to stuff her mouth.
You here to help me out? There's plenty to go around.
You take a fry and hold it up to her lips. Hazel's belly rumbles in response, and without hesitation, she leans forward, devouring the fry and letting out a satisfied moan.
She's not slowing down at all.
You continue feeding her, fry after fry, watching as her belly grows heavier, pressing harder against the counter. Her body is so large now that she can barely move, and with each bite, she becomes more and more immobile. After a while, Hazel's eating slows, but her body continues to grow, pressing harder against the counters and walls of the food truck. Her belly is now resting on the counter, completely filling the space as she moans in bliss.
I think I might have overdone it.
Her body is practically immobilized, and she leans back, letting out a deep, contented sigh as she rubs her swollen belly. The truck is an absolute mess, with trays knocked over and food scattered everywhere, all thanks to Hazel's sheer size.
She's barely able to move now. I guess I'll help her finish the last bit.
You grab the last few fries and shakes and feed them to Hazel, watching as she takes each bite with a groan of pleasure. Her belly sloshes and gurgles, and by the time she finishes, it's clear that she won't be able to move without help.
Thanks, I'm definitely going to need a nap after this.
With her belly resting heavily on the counter, Hazel closes her eyes, completely stuffed and satisfied.
She's totally outgrown this food truck. There's no way she'll fit in here again.
You help her clean up the mess, or at least try to, but the small space is almost entirely filled by Hazel's massive form.
Maybe next time, I'll just run the food truck from outside. I don't think I'll be fitting in here again.
You both laugh as you exit the truck, leaving Hazel behind to rest as you head back toward the fast food joint. The boutique's glittery pink lighting bounces off mirrored shelves and shimmery makeup stands, but nothing sparkles more than Hazel's flushed, rounded cheeks as she waddles through the entrance. She takes up nearly the whole left aisle by herself. Her shorts look like they've declared surrender, the waistband buried under the thick swell of her overhanging belly, her hoodie bunched up above it like it just gave up halfway.
Okay, but seriously, why is everything in here so tiny? I feel like I'm about to knock over 10 shelves just breathing.
That's 'cause you're a whole queen now. They gotta start building beauty counters with, like, throne seating for girls like you.
Hazel snorts, the motion sending a jiggle through her massive bust and belly. Her thighs rub together with a soft F-wump as she inches toward a lipstick display, the floor giving a sympathetic little creak under her.
Shut up. I'm already sweating and we've barely been here 5 minutes.
Mia grins, flicking a lock of her hair over her shoulder. Her ripped jeans are fighting a losing battle against her thick thighs and soft belly, the tears widening just a little more each time she squats to grab something.
Girl, that's not sweat, that's radiance. Now hold still, I'm putting glitter on your cheekbones, or at least where your cheekbones used to be.
Hazel puffs her cheeks out in mock offense but leans in obediently. The stool beneath her creaks loudly as she settles onto it, her wide hips completely swallowing the small seat. Her belly drops softly into her lap with a whump, her thighs spreading so far she has to plant her feet at an angle just to stay balanced.
Ugh, I feel like a melted cupcake.
A very cute, sparkly melted cupcake.
Hazel gives a little smile, her eyes closing as Mia dusts a gold shimmer over her cheeks. The glow immediately makes her already round face look even softer, like someone applied a highlight filter to a marshmallow. Mia steps back to admire her work, one hand on her hip, her belly slightly exposed as her crop top rides up with the stretch.
Okay, real talk. You look like you're about to headline a runway show for ultra plush glam goddesses.
Stop, you're gonna make me laugh and break the mirror.
They both burst out laughing. Hazel clutches her gut, which jiggles with delayed wobble after wobble. Mia grabs a lipstick and smears it on her own lips with a practiced pout, then holds up a tiny compact for both of them to see.
Damn, we look good.
We do, I mean, we're one snack away from needing a forklift, but yeah. Hot.
Hey, good thing this place is next to that bubble tea spot. Wanna go ruin your lipstick immediately.
Always.
The pulsating lights of the club reflect off every surface, casting a kaleidoscope of colors onto the dance floor. You and Hazel step inside, the energy hitting you like a wave. Hazel waddles beside you, her immense size drawing both glances and gasps. Her massive figure, soft and plush, shifts heavily with every step. Her hips sway dramatically, and her belly bounces with a pronounced slosh, the sheer weight of her movements creating a rhythm of their own.
Finally, I've been waiting all week for this.
Her voice is bright and enthusiastic, though slightly breathless from the effort of walking in. Her cheeks are already flushed with excitement, and she adjusts the straps of her dress which cling tightly to her expansive curves. As you move toward the dance floor, the music thunders through the club, and Hazel wastes no time diving in. Movements, while slowed by her immense size, are full of enthusiasm. Her wide hips sway, and her immense backside jiggles heavily with every step, each ripple visible even through her tight dress. The crowd parts slightly to make room as Hazel spins, her belly swaying heavily and bumping into a few people along the way. Her massive breasts shift with her movements, drawing audible gasps as they bounce rhythmically in time with the music. Her thighs, thick and rubbing together with every step, create a soft sound that somehow adds to the beat of the music, her body becoming a part of the ambience.
Oops, guess I'm taking up a bit more space these days.
Her grin is infectious, and you find yourself drawn into her orbit as she twirls again, her dress hugging every inch of her soft, plush form. The effort of dancing shows on her face, beads of sweat forming on her brow, but her confidence and joy are undeniable.
You're incredible out here. Everyone's watching you.
Her cheeks flush deeper, but her smile widens.
Thanks, it feels good to just let loose for a while.
She sways her hips, her hands resting briefly on her belly as she takes a small break, her massive form commanding the space around her. After a while, Hazel heads toward the bar, her cheeks flushed and her breath coming in heavier gasps from the exertion. Her massive chest rises and falls visibly, and she fans herself lightly with one hand. She orders a beer, lifting the glass easily to her lips and taking a deep swig. Her throat moves rhythmically as she downs the drink in record time, her free hand resting on the top of her belly, which presses firmly against the bar.
You know, I think my tolerance has gotten better.
Before you can respond, she grabs another beer, then another, each one disappearing quickly as she laughs and chats with you. Her belly rounds out further with each drink, pressing more firmly against the fabric of her dress. The top material struggles to contain her, the seams visibly straining as her fullness grows. By the time she finishes her fourth beer, her movements are slower, her cheeks deeply flushed, and her belly visibly swollen. Her hands rest on the sides of her bloated stomach, which sloshes audibly with each step. Her immense thighs rub together with every motion, the soft fabric of her dress riding up slightly as she shifts her weight.
Okay, maybe I've had enough. Or maybe one more.
Despite her words, she laughs again, her voice light and carefree as she leans heavily against the bar, her plush form spreading slightly across the counter. Her belly gurgles audibly, and she pats it lightly, her face glowing with satisfaction. When it's time to leave, Hazel waddles beside you, her steps unsteady but her mood light and cheerful. Her massive belly sways heavily with each movement, her body jiggling as she leans against you for support. Each step causes her to wheeze softly, her chest rising and falling dramatically as her breath quickens.
You're the best, you know that.
Her voice is soft and affectionate though her words are slightly slurred. You try to steady her, but her immense size makes it a challenge. Her voice is soft and affectionate though her words are slightly slurred. You try to steady her, but her immense size makes it a challenge. Each step causes her hips to sway dramatically, her heavy backside brushing against you. Her bloated belly presses firmly into your side, its warmth and weight impossible to ignore. After a few attempts to guide her home, you realize it's not going to work. Her size and weight make it impossible to move quickly, and she's clearly too stuffed to hurry. You call for an Uber, and when it arrives, the real challenge begins. Getting Hazel into the car is an ordeal. Her massive belly presses against the door frame, and you have to guide her carefully, lifting and shifting her as she giggles through her drunken haze. Her plush hips and thighs take up most of the back seat, and her belly rests heavily against her lap, sloshing audibly with every adjustment. Her wheezing grows louder as she tries to situate herself, her soft laughter mingling with the sound.
Sorry, I'm not exactly travel-sized anymore.
Her laughter is light, and despite the struggle, she seems to be having the time of her life. Her immense backside spreads across the seat, pressing against the opposite door as she settles in. The car dips slightly under her weight, the suspension creaking audibly as she adjusts. Once she's finally situated, you take the front seat, glancing back occasionally to make sure she's comfortable. Hazel waves at you lazily, her soft smile visible even in the dim light of the car. By the time you arrive back at the dorm, Hazel is dozing lightly, her soft snores filling the car. You help her out carefully, guiding her inside and onto her bed, where she collapses with a contented sigh.
Thanks for tonight, you're amazing.
Her voice is barely above a whisper as she drifts off, her body sprawling across the mattress, her soft curves spreading out comfortably. Her bloated belly rises and falls gently with her breathing, sloshing faintly with each motion. Her smile lingers even as sleep overtakes her. The kitchen is already filled with the mouthwatering scent of butter, sugar, and sizzling oil as Hazel hums to herself, stirring a massive pot on the stove. Bowls, trays, and cutting boards cover every inch of counter space, each one holding a different dish in various stages of completion. Her immense body dominates the small kitchen, her wide hips swaying with each step, her plush belly brushing against the counter as she leans forward. The poor apron tied around her struggles to wrap around her, its strings digging into the vast expanse of her back, emphasizing just how much she has grown.
Okay, I may have gotten a little carried away, but I just couldn't decide on one dish, so I made all of them.
She gestures at the variable feast surrounding her, a towering stack of pancakes, a bubbling pot of creamy pasta, multiple trays of pastries, and an entire mixing bowl filled with thick whipped cream. The sheer scale of it is almost comical, but judging by the hungry glint in Hazel's eye, she sees it as nothing more than a personal challenge.
But it's not too much, right? I mean, I can eat a lot and you'll help me, right?
You chuckle, already knowing exactly where this is going. Hazel has always had a big appetite, but now, at her current massive size, her hunger is something truly insatiable. Even still, this might be pushing her limits. She plops down at the table, the chair groaning beneath her immense weight. Her belly spreads outward, consuming more and more space as she breathes in the intoxicating scent of her own cooking. Her stomach lets out a deep, impatient growl, and she giggles, her chubby fingers idly rubbing the soft curve.
Well, what are you waiting for? Feed me.
You grab a forkful of pasta and bring it to her lips. She eagerly accepts, moaning softly as the rich sauce coats her tongue. One bite turns into another, then another, her body relaxing into the indulgence. Her belly swells visibly, her apron riding higher as she packs herself fuller. The table presses firmly into her growing midsection, forcing her to lean back to make room, her heavy chest rising and falling with her deep breaths.
Here, let me help you relax while you eat.
You press your hands gently against her taut stomach, kneading in slow circles. She lets out a quiet sigh, melting slightly under your touch as she takes another eager bite.
Why you're too good to me.
Her stomach gurgles, distended and heavy, yet she still reaches for another plate, a look of blissful satisfaction on her face. By the time most of the food is gone, Hazel leans back heavily in her chair, her belly resting high and firm, rising and falling with each slow breath. Her apron has come undone, unable to contain the sheer mass of her overfed gut. She lets out a small hiccup, then glances at the last remaining dish, a massive mixing bowl still half full of thick, sugary cream.
I want to finish it, but I don't think I can eat it normally.
An idea strikes you, and you grab a funnel from the kitchen counter. Hazel's eyes widen slightly, her cheeks flushing, but she parts her lips without hesitation as you dip it into the bowl.
Oh, you're really gonna do this? Well, I won't say no.
You bring the funnel to her lips, tilting the bowl ever so slightly. Thick, rich cream flows into her mouth, her throat moving with slow, deliberate swallows. Her belly rises with each gulp, stretching taut beneath her touch. She moans softly as the last of the cream disappears down her throat, her stomach visibly tight and full, her hands instinctively rubbing at the massive dome.
Come on, let's get you settled somewhere softer.
She takes your hands, letting you guide her to the couch. She sinks into the cushions with a sigh, her belly pressing firmly against her thighs as she leans back, utterly content.
I think I need to be spoiled like this more often.
As the night winds down, Hazel's eyes flutter closed, her hand resting atop her overfilled stomach. She murmurs sleepily, a blissful smile on her lips.
Next time, we make even more.
You chuckle, watching as she drifts off, too full to move, too happy to care. The warm glow of morning cuts through the curtains in hazy lines, falling across the plush sprawl of Hazel's body. She lies sunken deep into her bed, limbs sprawled, hair tousled, and her immense belly rising and falling like a living mountain. Her massive form spills outward in every direction. Her belly stretches across her thighs in thick folds, pressing against the sheets with greedy softness. The covers are bunched up near her knees, unable to rise past the sheer volume of her front.
Is that breakfast?
Her voice is thick and drowsy, eyes fluttering open with slow delight as she catches the scent wafting in from your tray. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, hash browns, and 2 thick shakes, 1 strawberry, 1 vanilla, still dripping condensation down the sides.
You didn't.
You set the tray gently across the high swell of her belly, which groans faintly beneath the weight. She inhales deeply, eyes fluttering at the scent, arms too soft and heavy to do much more than reach lazily toward the nearest pancake.
You're gonna make it so I can't move at all. Don't worry, I brought more. You're really trying to test the limits of this belly, huh?
You set down a second tray, extra waffles, biscuits, and another shake. She bites her lip, then digs in, cheeks flushing as she continues to grow fuller with every bite. Hazel's eyes widen as you set the second tray beside the first, another mountain of breakfast food, complete with whipped cream, extra syrup, and a second milkshake already threatening to overflow its glass.
You're not serious.
But her voice betrays her. Beneath the exaggerated protest, there's a spark, anticipation, hunger, something darker.
You really want to see what happens when I go overboard, huh?
You stack a fluffy waffle directly on top of the first tray, balancing it like a second layer. Hazel stares at it for a moment, then lets out a breathy laugh.
Fine, let's see if I can turn this belly into a buffet table.
She shovels another bite of eggs into her mouth with no hesitation. Her hands are slower now, her arms resting on either side of the growing swell of her gut. It rises steadily beneath both trays, now resembling some soft, overloaded banquet surface. The weight of her belly spreads even further across her thighs. The underside begins to press against the bed frame. You swear you can hear a faint wooden creak with each shift of her hips. Hazel huffs as she downs one of the new biscuits, syrup trailing down the corner of her lips and into the valley between her breasts.
NNGH, God, I'm too full.
Her belly lets out a groan, not a growl, but a long, pressured churn, like the food already inside is making room for more. She reaches for the new shake, but her arm trembles trying to lift it. Her belly has swelled so far upward that it's crowding her chest now, pushing her breasts higher. She gasps as she finishes another greedy sip.
You're gonna break me, you know that.
You adjust the second tray slightly to keep it from sliding off her belly's slope. Her gut has grown so taut and high it no longer offers a flat surface, it's a dome now, quivering under its own load.
This is insane, and I'm still going.
She collapses back into the pillows, the trays now resting unevenly across her belly's steep incline. Her hands clutch the sides of her gut as her legs slowly ease further apart to make space. Her thighs are trembling, not from exertion, but from the sheer, spreading pressure of her gut spilling down toward them.
I can't wait to see what you bring me for lunch. If I survive this.
A few hours pass in syrupy silence. The only sounds in the room are the occasional creak of the bed beneath her expanding weight and the deep, slow groans from Hazel's belly as it processes your morning gift. She hasn't moved much, just shifted slightly as the swell of her gut demanded more space. Her thighs are pressed wide apart now, belly settled between them like a great doughy hill, thick and impossibly round. Her shirt is fully rolled beneath her breasts which sit heavily atop the curve, pushed high by the sheer size of her middle. Her skin shines faintly in the warm light, stretched flushed full.
MNNNH, I was gonna nap, but now my stomach's too full to even sleep.
You approach again with another tray, this time lunch. Greasy cheeseburgers stacked with bacon, boxes of fries, thick onion rings, and a triple thick milkshake that looks more like melted ice cream than a drink. Hazel stares at it for a moment. Her belly lets out a low, groaning churn.
Okay, that's obscene, you're obscene, but you know what? Put it on top. Let's see if my stomach can still take orders.
You stack the food atop the last stable shelf of her belly, right near the center where her skin is stretched like a drum. It wobbles slightly and she winces.
Oof, oh okay, maybe, slowly.
You help her, bite by bite. One hand feeding, one hand supporting the lower swell of her gut as it surges outward and down, gurgling with each addition. Hazel chews with effort now, her breaths are louder, deeper. Her cheeks are flushed and damp with sweat. She looks dazed but still obediently opens her mouth for every offered bite.
Why does it still taste good? Why am I still letting you do this to me?
Her belly lets out a loud, wet gurgle. You feel it lurch beneath your fingers. It's packed so tight now that the surface has lost all softness, it's taut, stretched, a high hill that throbs with every breath she takes. Her hands are resting limply on either side of the tray. She doesn't try to move them anymore.
NNNGHH, please, just a few more minutes, then, maybe the shake.
She tips her head forward, lips parted. Her eyes flutter shut as you hold the straw for her. She drinks slowly but steadily, and as the creamy weight fills her gut, she groans low and deep in her throat.
It's too much, it's so tight.
The final few sips vanish between her lips. You pull the straw away and gently rub the underside of her stomach, which trembles slightly beneath your touch. The tray is removed, finally, but her belly rises even higher without its weight, swelling upward like it's ballooned further in the last few minutes alone. Her legs are fully spread now, the curve of her gut pressing into her thighs which quiver under the weight.
You're gonna roll me out of here one day, I swear.
But she smiles faintly as she says it, cheeks pink, eyes dreamy, her voice more slurred with pleasure than pain.
Okay, maybe just dessert in a bit, but I wanna feel this, for a minute.
Hazel lies motionless, her limbs splayed out and twitching faintly. Her belly dominates her form completely, so swollen, so inflated, it no longer rests on her thighs, but hangs between them, brushing the mattress on either side with its enormous breadth. The stretch of her skin is obscene. Veins pulse faintly along the slope of her gut, which rises and falls with short, shallow breaths. Her chest heaves atop it, sweat gleaming along the upper curves of her breasts and shoulders.
HHHNNNGHH. I can feel it in my ribs, like my belly's pressing upward against everything.
You whisper that she's done, that she's made it through breakfast and lunch like a champion. She blinks slowly, barely able to nod. Her voice is a breathless whisper.
Good girl, right?
Your fingers glide along the surface of her gut, tracing the stretched skin from her stuffed navel to the crest. She gasps when your palms press lightly into the top, and a shiver runs through her.
Oh, that's sensitive.
You hush her gently, you haven't forgotten dessert.
Wait, no, I can't. I really can't.
But she doesn't stop you. Not when you straddle her thighs, her belly pushing up against your chest from sheer size. Not when you pull the shake bottle from behind your back, thick, creamy, still cold. Not even when you pop the cap and bring it to her lips. She moans before she drinks.
You're gonna ruin me.
The shake is thick like wet ice cream, and she has no choice but to swallow slowly, breath hitching between gulps. Each time she draws from the bottle, her belly pulses beneath you, swelling tighter round her. Your other hand kneads into the lower slope, where her gut droops over the edge of the bed, the weight pulling at the rest of her with slow, delicious gravity.
HNNNGHH. It hurts, but it's so good.
She twitches under you as the last of the shake disappears into her mouth. Her eyes roll back slightly, sweat dotting her brow, hair plastered to her cheeks. You ease the bottle away and lean forward, resting your hands on either side of her swollen form. She's beyond full, her belly trembles with each breath stretched to its limit, rising like a cresting wave. She hums something low in her throat, her eyes fluttering half-lidded.
Don't let me move. Not yet. I want to feel it. Everything.
You lay your head softly against her gut, which lets out a deep, wet groan beneath your ear. Hazel exhales a slow, shaky breath. One hand weakly lifts to rest on your shoulder.
Next weekend.
She smiles, eyelids fluttering closed as her belly makes another low, churning noise.
Next weekend should be even bigger.
She trails off mid-breath, lips parted, body trembling slightly as she drifts into a deep, overfed sleep. The weight of her belly creaks as she exhales, sinking deeper into the mattress. You don't move. You just listen to the digestion, the tiny whimpers, the slow, rhythmic pulse of her heartbeat under all that heavy, beautiful fullness.
Here, let me take some of the pressure off.
You kneel beside the bed, slipping your hands under her gut and lifting gently. Hazel exhales deeply, the tension in her back easing instantly as you support her weight.
Oh, that feels way better.
She eats slowly as you massage the plush curves where her belly meets her hips, soft sounds of pleasure escaping between bites. You kneel beside Hazel, your hands carefully slipping beneath the vast swell of her belly. The underside is hot to the touch, soft, heavy, and sagging just enough to pool into the tops of her thighs. As you gently lift, she lets out a slow, shaky gasp. Her fingers curl around the sheets.
Oh my God. That was exactly what I needed.
The weight shifts in your hands like a warm, living thing. Her belly sloshes faintly as it lifts, tight from the breakfast already pressing against her insides. Her chest rises and falls more easily now, her breath no longer crushed beneath the sheer mass.
It's getting to the point where I can't even breathe right unless someone's holding it up for me. Is that bad?
You don't answer, and she grins lazily, her face flushed, pupils hazy with fullness and heat. Her arms flop uselessly to her sides as she continues.
It's getting to the point where I can't even breathe right.
You don't answer, and she grins lazily, her face flushed, pupils hazy with fullness and heat. Her arms flop uselessly to her sides as she continues to eat slowly, feeding herself with tiny motions and little grunts of effort. Her free hand occasionally drifts across the lifted slope of her belly, fingers pressing gently into the tightest points just above her navel.
You're seriously spoiling me. Like, embarrassingly so. I love it.
The tray wobbles slightly on the crest of her gut, now pushed higher from your lift. Her legs spread wider to accommodate the lower portion that sags heavily between her thighs, sloshing with each shift in her breathing. Every time your thumbs sweep along her sides, she lets out a soft, satisfied noise, not quite a moan, but dangerously close.
Okay, I'm slowing down, I mean, just a bit.
She takes one last bite of hash brown, her hand trembling slightly from the sheer effort of lifting it. Her jaw works slowly, cheeks flushed, chest heaving. You ease her belly back down onto her thighs. It settles like a boulder rolling into a valley, heavy, warm, and immovable.
MMMNH, that's better. I can just melt now.
She leans her head against your arm and lets out a slow, humming sigh. Her belly gurgles beneath the now nearly empty tray, and her eyelids droop.
If you feed me lunch like that too, I might never leave this bed again. I'm going to need a map to find you in this bed. Just leave a trail of pancakes, and you'll always find me.
She laughs and her belly shifts beneath the tray, sending a lazy ripple through the sheets. She resumes eating with a smirk and a blush, clearly enjoying the attention. Hazel snorts softly at your remark, her belly wobbling slightly beneath the tray as she giggles.
If I'm the mattress now, then you'd better treat me like royalty. Or maybe like a waterbed that moans when you press on it.
You laugh as she pokes the side of her belly, sending a lazy ripple through the plush surface. The tray nearly tips with the motion, syrup threatening to slide off the edge. She shovels another bite into her mouth, then leans her head back dramatically, tongue tracing over her syrup-slick lips.
You know, this used to be your fault. But now I'm starting to think I might actually enjoy being a soft little blob you have to take care of.
She slaps her belly lightly, whap, and the impact rolls outward in soft waves, jiggling down to her thighs. The tray creaks again atop the shifting dome, almost like it's begging you to remove it before it slides off on its own. You lean over and steady it. Hazel smirks at you.
Owa, you're worried about my tray more than my belly. Rude Tilda.
She opens her mouth and holds a half-eaten pancake up like she's showing off a prize. You raise an eyebrow.
Are you offering to feed me now? Nope, I just wanted to watch your face while I eat the last bite.
She stuffs it into her mouth and makes an exaggerated moan, her belly gurgling like a warm water tank. The tray rises again, pushed up by her stretching dome. She lets out a soft hiccup and rubs slow circles around her navel, which is starting to peek from under her rolled-up top. The skin is visibly tighter now, the plush folds giving way to a firmer curve.
Ugh, I'm gonna need a crowbar to get out of bed after this. Or maybe just you pulling me by the ankles while I scream.
You take her empty plate, but she clutches one of the milkshakes with both hands, barely able to reach past her belly now, and takes long, exaggerated slurps.
Slurp, I should hate how good this still tastes.
Her legs shift further apart to accommodate the growing mass between them. Her thighs, thick and dimpled, now support the underside of her belly, which has begun pressing against them more heavily. Her hands flop to her sides and she sighs deeply, the shake still stuck between her breasts. Her top rides so high now that the lower curve of her stomach is on full display, pale and slightly pink from being stretched.
Okay, maybe I'm stuffed, maybe.
A few hours pass in syrupy silence.
You don't have to lift a finger.
You bring the first bite to her mouth. She moans faintly as she chews, lips brushing your fingers, breath warm and heavy. Her belly shifts beneath the tray with each swallow stretching tight.
Yeah, just like that.
Hazel's cheeks glow pink as you lift another syrup-dripping bite to her lips. Her mouth opens with a soft sigh, welcoming it eagerly. The tray atop her belly gently rises and falls, balanced on the slow expansion of her gut. Each swallow seems to add just a bit more volume to her stomach, pushing the edge of the tray higher.
You're way too good at this.
She breathes heavily through her nose as you stroke her side. Your fingers trace lazy lines over her plush belly, trailing syrupy crumbs before wiping them away with delicate care. The fullness is starting to show. Her belly is beginning to firm beneath the tray, pushing it slightly upward with each heavy breath. Her hands drift lazily over the top curve, kneading where it tightens.
God, I feel it already, and I still want more.
You offer her a forkful of hash brown. She accepts it with a faint whimper, her breathing now slightly ragged. Her cheeks burn as her belly creaks under the expanding load, the seams of her too-tight sleep shorts groaning. She opens her mouth for another bite before you even ask. Her tongue glides across her lower lip, catching a string of syrup.
You're seriously making me addicted to this.
You rub slow, firm circles around the sides of her belly, watching the tray wobble gently on its summit. She purrs, barely chewing before swallowing again, her eyes fluttering. The milkshake straw bobs as she lazily sips, hand trembling slightly from the strain of raising it. Eventually, she lets it rest in her cleavage and beckons you to lean in.
Here, hold it for me. My arms feel like noodles.
You oblige, holding the glass just above her lips as she drinks, gulping thick cream with audible slowness. Her belly gurgles as more is added to the growing dome.
NNNGHH. Oh wow, that might have been too much.
Her words trail off into a breathy giggle as her eyes flutter, her gut visibly surging forward beneath the tray. It's clearly pushing past comfortable now, but she doesn't stop. With a heavy, wheezing breath, Hazel slumps back, her breasts rising and falling atop the dome of her belly. The tray finally slides forward slightly, no longer able to stay flat.
I think I need 5 minutes, then we can talk about lunch. You don't think I've gone too far, do you? Even if I can barely reach past my belly now. You don't think I've gone too far, do you? You don't think I've gone
Hazel cannot stand without help anymore. Her legs, massive and doughy, spread beneath her like twin cushions, her thick thighs merged together by an endless swell of belly that flows over and between them. Her hips, once simply wide, are now engulfed in mounds of side fat. They spread out far past her seated form, contributing to her overwhelming footprint as she takes up more than an armchair's worth of space just sitting still. Her belly quivers even at rest, shifting under its own weight, its twin lower folds pressing into her lap with unstoppable heaviness. Her hands rest atop it reflexively, fingers sinking inches into its soft surface. Every breath is an event, slow, wheezing, and full of motion. Her chest heaves, her belly lifts, her sides swell, and all around her, every bit of plushness responds with hypnotic, jiggling echoes. Even in this state of immobility, she radiates satisfaction. A slow smile curls her plump lips, and a deep, indulgent sigh escapes her as she rests, the embodiment of pure, gluttonous bliss. The display of gift baskets and chocolates never stood a chance. As Hazel shuffles by, her enormous belly, wide, sloping and swaying, nudges into a precarious pyramid of stacked boxes. Her hips follow suit, one plush globe of flesh colliding with a lower stack like a wrecking ball cushioned in velvet. Crash, the sound is thunderous, boxes scatter in every direction.
Oh no.
Hazel's face turns crimson, her full cheeks puffing with a mix of embarrassment and exertion. She attempts to bend, slowly, awkwardly, rocking side to side as she tries to adjust her immense girth. Her belly squashes against her thighs, resisting the effort like a bloated, stubborn creature.
Oof, come on Hazel, just a little reach.
Each inch she leans forward is a monumental task. Her breath catches, breasts jostling in place atop the taut, round curve of her middle. The bottom hem of her sweater has ridden high, exposing a pale swath of belly that quivers with every motion. You kneel quickly to gather the boxes before she topples forward completely. Hazel steadies herself with both arms braced on her knees, her face a flushed canvas of effort and mortification.
Thanks, I don't think I could have, bent any further without causing a scene.
He slowly straightens, a process that requires several breaths and a lot of swaying. Her belly resettles with a loud F-wump, the soft sloshing beneath suggesting a recent indulgence. Her leggings creak as she adjusts her stance, the waistband long since swallowed under cascading rolls. Despite it all, she manages a sheepish grin, brushing a few strands of sweat-damp hair from her face.
I need to start treating my belly like the battering ram it's become. Maybe the next store we go to should be made of steel.
She laughs deep, full-bodied laughter that ripples through her like a wave, and gives you a playful nudge with her pillowy arm.
Come on, let's find a bench, and maybe a snack while we're at it.
With slow, deliberate steps, she waddles ahead, her hips swaying like a pendulum. The scattered display behind her remains a testament to her size and a preview of many future accidents to come.
HHHFF, all right, 10 burgers, 6 fries, 4 drinks, and then again.
Hazel's voice is thick with anticipation and pressure. She spreads across 3 reinforced booth seats, her belly cascading in soft, jiggling folds over her lap and halfway down her thighs. A server wheels in 2 stacked trays, 20 greasy burgers overflowing fry baskets and gallons of soda. The scent hits hard, fried oil, beef, sugar, gluttony distilled. Hazel leans forward with visible effort. Her belly squashes upward, overtaking the table edge, forcing her to sit back as she lifts the first burger to her lips. She chews slowly, deliberately. By burger 4, her cheeks puff with strain, sweat dots her brow, and her breathing quickens, belly pressing harder against the table with each swallow. Fries vanish between heavy moans and labored gulps of soda. Her overworked waistband pops open without ceremony, unleashing the swell of her underbelly with a thick F-wump.
HHHHNNNNNGH. F first round down.
Wrappers litter the table like battlefield debris. Hazel slumps into the booth, belly now cresting past her thighs, her breasts wobbling atop the distended dome.
Bring the rest.
A fresh tray is wheeled in. Hazel stares, eyes glazed with hunger and dread, body vibrating gently with every overstuffed breath. She lifts the next burger with trembling fingers. Her belly gurgles audibly, flesh stretched tight and red beneath her clinging tank top. The booth groans as she shifts her weight, pressing one arm into the doughy slope of her gut for support. With each chew she winces but keeps going. The tray shrinks, her breaths get shorter. Her thighs are completely obscured by belly now, her lower half swallowed by overindulgence. She's reclined far back now, barely upright, belly rising like a mountain before her, topped by twin mounds of breasts that have flattened outward from the swell of her gut.
Can't lift my arms anymore, help me finish.
You oblige, one burger at a time, guided to her open lips. She moans with every bite, eyes fluttering, cheeks stuffed. The final drink is raised to her mouth. She sips slowly, the soda fizzing inside her like a rising tide. The last fry is fed to her slowly. She chews with a dazed expression, eyes half-lidded, one hand twitching against the tremoring curve of her belly.
MMMPHHH, D done, all of it, both rounds.
She slumps fully into the booth, belly now lifted onto the seat beside her, flesh spreading across the vinyl like melting dough. Her skin is stretched, glossy, marked with pink stress lines and a gentle sheen of sweat.
HHHHH howa, I've never been this full.
The booth shifts with each breath, her belly gurgling faintly under its own weight. She clutches the sides of her middle, groaning in blissful agony.
Hazel, you did it. You beat the challenge, twice. I'm a goddess of grease. I can feel soda sloshing behind my ribs.
You brush her hair gently back. Her fingers grasp yours, soft, trembling but proud.
Just let me digest for a decade, then maybe I'll try 3 rounds.
Hazel eases her bulk into the room, each heavy step sending soft ripples through her jiggling form. The walls seem to close in around her, her body taking up space in every direction. Her belly sways ahead of her like a great, doughy prow, split into wobbling rolls, the lower shelf brushing her knees. Her sweater rides up helplessly, bunched beneath her chest, exposing the deep crease of her underbelly. The scale groans as she steps on, her thighs forced apart by sheer size. She exhales, trying to peer past the swell of her stomach. Wait, Hazel, wait, point.
Oh wow, that's a big number.
Her arms press into the sides of her body by default now, her posture permanently changed by the weight she carries. Her belly shifts even when she doesn't move, like it has a mind of its own.
Kinda surreal, right? I used to worry about fitting into my shorts, now I worry about fitting through doors.
She gives her side a soft slap, watching it jiggle slowly in delayed waves. Her smile deepens.
But hey, still cute, just more of me to love.
Hazel doesn't just sit in the cafe booth anymore, she envelops it. Her body spills across 3 joined benches, her hips cresting over the edges like risen dough breaching a baking pan. Hazel doesn't just sit in the cafe booth anymore, she envelops it. Her body spills across 3 joined benches, her hips cresting over the edges like risen dough breaching a baking pan. Every inch of her is a testament to excess, her belly a grand wobbling dome that presses against the bolted-down table, with the threat of toppling it forward. The table itself has been moved back twice, but her belly has caught up again. The wood now sinks into the mass of her middle, leaving faint indents in the stretched fabric of her sweater, which has rolled up to expose a wide expanse of soft, pale skin that trembles with every breath.
NNNN, I might need to eat lying down next time.
Her voice is breathy and low, squeezed out between labored pants as her chest heaves atop her belly. Her breasts, once resting lazily, now slouch under their own weight, sliding slightly to the sides of her swollen mound like twin hills flanking a mountain. A server cautiously approaches with another tray stacked with pastries, nervously balancing the load as Hazel's eyes light up. She raises a trembling hand, plump fingers coated in icing residue, and gives a weak, enthusiastic wiggle.
Just set it down. Anywhere I can reach or roll toward.
You help guide the tray toward her, clearing a space between crumpled wrappers and drained cups. The entire table is a war zone of crumbs, smears of cream, and demolished desserts. Hazel shifts, trying to lean forward, only to grunt as her belly presses her back. Instead, she grabs a croissant by dragging it across the table with the back of her knuckles, then slowly lifts it toward her mouth. Her cheeks puff out as she chews, icing smearing across one cheek. Her eyes flutter shut.
MMMMGH, I swear, I'm gonna start dreaming about butter.
Her body shifts subtly with each bite, a tidal wave of soft flesh in motion. Beneath her, the benches moan ominously, wood creaking like a ship under siege. Her massive belly bulges farther forward now, audibly gurgling with each new addition, the skin pulled tight but soft with layers of plush fat. Hazel adjusts herself with great effort, rolling her hips slightly to one side. The movement sends a tremor down her thighs, which are mashed together so tightly that only sweat can pass between them now. Her leggings have been replaced with elastic shorts, their waistband fully engulfed.
Okay, oof, maybe just one more bite and then a nap, maybe here on the table.
You hand her a final pastry. Her lips part with a soft groan, and she slowly devours it, her eyes hazy with exhaustion and ecstasy. The final swallow is slow, drawn out, as her body protests any further intake, but she smiles all the same. Her arms go slack as she slumps backward, her entire body sinking deeply into the creaking bench, which dips a full inch under her shifting mass. Her belly surges forward like rising dough, coming to rest on the table's edge with a gentle thump.
Ooh, I think I'm officially part of this booth now.
She tries to move but gives up immediately, her body too heavy, too stuffed to even shift. A single hand drifts across the crest of her belly, rubbing in slow, languid circles. Her breath is shallow, her eyes fluttering shut between words.
Need help getting out. Eventually, for now, I think I'll just digest into the furniture.
Her giggle is weak but warm. Around her, the entire cafe has quieted, the usual clinking of plates and cups replaced by the ambient rhythm of Hazel's breathing and the groaning of overworked seating. Staff watch from behind the counter, wide-eyed and unsure. But Hazel is unbothered. She is the queen of this feast, a monument to indulgence framed by towers of plates, coated in sugar and pride. You sit beside her quietly, the table vibrating with each shift of her body, her hand finding yours in a heavy, lazy grasp. She squeezes it once, then again.
Best study break ever.